Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins that has captured the imagination of collectors all around the world, the 1973 D1 cent USA coin that is rumored to be worth an astonishing $77 million. And before you think this sounds impossible, let me tell you that in the world of coin collecting, small details, tiny minting mistakes, and rare production errors can transform an ordinary coin into a life-changing treasure. So imagine holding a simple penny in your hand and realizing it might be worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, or even entire business empires. And that is exactly why this coin has become such a hot topic among collectors, investors, and treasure hunters who constantly search through old jars, drawers, and piggy banks hoping to discover that one rare piece that could change everything. Now let's explore what makes the 1973 D1 cent coin so incredibly valuable, and why. Experts believe certain versions of it could reach unbelievable prices. First, we need to understand that the D Mint mark means this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, and while millions of these coins were struck in 1973, only a very small number could potentially carry the rare characteristics that drive the value sky high. One of the most important factors is minting errors. And these errors happen during the production process when something goes slightly wrong, creating a unique variation that stands out from the rest. Collectors love these imperfections because they are rare and cannot be easily reproduced. One of the most talked about possibilities for this coin is the double die error, where the design appears duplicated or slightly shifted, especially noticeable in the lettering or the portrait details. If a 1973 D penny has a strong and clear double die effect, it becomes extremely desirable and can fetch massive amounts of money depending on its condition and clarity. Another possibility is an off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned during minting, causing the design to be partially missing or shifted. These off-center coins are rare, and the more dramatic the misalignment, while still showing the full date and mint mark, the higher the value climbs. Then there are die cracks and cuts, which occur when the minting die begins to break or chip, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. While some die cracks are common and at only minor value, large and unusual ones can make a coin stand out as a unique collectible, and in extreme cases, these features can contribute to a coin's legendary status. Another fascinating error type that could push the value of a 1973 D penny into the millions is a wrong planchet error. This happens when a coin is struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination or even a different country. Imagine a 1973 D penny struck on a silver dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. Such an error would be extraordinarily rare and highly sought after by elite collectors, making it a potential candidate for record-breaking prices. And then there is the possibility of a transitional error, where the composition of the coin does not match what it should be for that year. Although 1973 pennies were typically made of copper, any deviation from the standard composition would be extremely unusual and valuable. Condition also plays a massive role in determining value. A coin in mint state condition with no wear, scratches, or damage can be worth significantly more than one that has been circulated for years. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services often attract serious collectors willing to pay premium prices. And when you combine a rare error with a pristine condition, you get the perfect recipe for a multi-million-dollar coin. Another factor that adds to the mystery and hype surrounding the 1973 D penny is the possibility of undiscovered varieties. Sometimes new errors or variations are identified years or even decades after the coins were minted, meaning there could still be unknown treasures waiting to be found. This keeps the excitement alive and encourages collectors to keep searching, examining every detail under magnification, looking for something unusual that others might have missed. The story of a $77 million penny may sound unbelievable, but history has shown that rare coins can reach extraordinary values when the right combination of rarity, demand, and uniqueness comes together. And even if not every 1973 D penny is worth millions, the idea that one could be hidden in everyday circulation adds a sense of adventure and possibility to coin collecting. It turns an ordinary hobby into a treasure hunt where anyone can participate. And that is what makes this topic so exciting. You don't need to be a millionaire to start, you just need curiosity, patience, and a keen eye for detail. So next time you come across a handful of old coins, take a closer look, check the date, examine the mint mark, look for doubling, misalignment, or anything unusual, because you never know, that small copper coin could be hiding a secret worth millions. And as always on this channel, we bring you the most exciting stories, rare discoveries, and valuable insights from the world of coin collecting, so stay tuned, keep searching, and who knows, maybe the next incredible find will be yours. Next, 2017 P1 cent coin. Today we are diving into a truly astonishing and almost unbelievable story that has been creating waves across the coin collecting world. The story of the 2017 P1 cent USA coin that is rumored to be worth an incredible $74 million. And if you are wondering how a simple penny from modern times could ever reach such an extraordinary value, then you are in the right place, because today we are going to explore every possible detail, every fascinating error, every rare mistake, and every hidden factor that could transform an ordinary-looking coin into one of the most valuable treasures ever discovered. Now, when we talk about the 2017 P1 cent coin, the first thing that stands out is the P mint mark, which represents the Philadelphia Mint, and for many years pennies from Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark at all. But in 2017 something special happened. As part of the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint, pennies were released with a P mint mark for the first time in history, and that alone makes the 2017 P penny historically significant. But historical significance alone does not make a coin worth millions. What truly drives the value into the stratosphere is a combination of extreme rarity, unusual minting errors, pristine condition, and collector demand that borders on obsession. So let's begin by understanding the types of errors that could exist on a 2017 P penny and how each one contributes to its potential value. One of the most important and highly sought-after errors in coin collecting is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die used to strike the design receives a misaligned impression during its creation, resulting in a doubling effect on the final coin. And on a 2017 P penny, this doubling could appear in the inscriptions such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even in the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. And when the doubling is strong and clearly visible, it becomes a major attraction for collectors, especially if it is verified and graded by a professional grading service. Another possible error that could make a 2017 P penny extremely valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not properly positioned within the striking chamber, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. And coins with dramatic off-center strikes that still retain the full date and mint mark are particularly valuable because they clearly show the error while still identifying the coin. The more off-center the strike while maintaining those key details, the rarer and more desirable the coin becomes. Then we have the possibility of a broad strike error where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to expand beyond its normal diameter and lose its reeded edge, resulting in a slightly larger and flatter coin that looks noticeably different from a standard penny. These types of errors are relatively rare and can significantly increase the value of the coin depending on their severity and overall appearance. Another fascinating category of errors is the wrong planchet error. This is where things start to get really exciting because it involves a coin being struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a different country. Imagine a 2017 P penny struck on a nickel planchet which is thicker and made of a different metal. Or even more incredibly, a penny struck on a dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. Such an occurrence would be extraordinarily rare and would immediately capture the attention of serious collectors and investors, pushing its value into the millions, especially if it is a one-of-a-kind example. Now let's talk about die cracks and cuds, which are another type of minting imperfection that can add uniqueness to a coin. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture, leaving raised lines on the coin's surface, while cuds are larger breaks that result in blobs of extra metal appearing on the coin. And while minor die cracks are relatively common, large and dramatic cuds can make a coin stand out as a rare and collectible piece, particularly if they appear in unusual locations or create a visually striking pattern. Another potential factor that could contribute to the immense value of a 2017 P penny is a die clash error. This occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions of one side's design on the other. And when such a coin is later struck, it can carry these ghost-like images which add to its uniqueness and appeal. Collectors often find die-clash coins fascinating because they reveal a hidden part of the minting process that is not normally visible. Now, beyond these common error types, there are also more extreme and rare possibilities that could elevate a coin's value to legendary status. For example, a double denomination error where a coin is struck over another coin of a different denomination. Imagine a 2017 penny struck over a previously minted dime or nickel, resulting in a bizarre and highly unusual hybrid coin that displays elements of both denominations. Such errors are incredibly rare and highly prized, and if a 2017 penny with such a feature were discovered, it could easily become one of the most valuable coins in existence. Then there is the possibility of a mule error where the obverse and reverse designs do not belong together. For instance, if a penny obverse featuring Lincoln were paired with the reverse of a different coin entirely. This type of error is extremely rare because it requires a significant mix-up during the minting process, and any confirmed mule coin becomes an instant sensation in the numismatic world. Another aspect that cannot be ignored is the condition of the coin. Even the rarest error will not reach its full value if the coin is heavily worn or damaged. Collectors place a huge emphasis on coins that are in mint state condition, often graded on a scale from MS60 to MS70, with MS70 representing a perfect coin with no visible flaws even under magnification. A 2017 penny with a rare error and a grade close to perfection would be considered a true masterpiece and could command extraordinary prices at auction. Now let's consider the role of demand and market psychology in determining the value of such a coin. Sometimes the story behind a coin can be just as important as the coin itself. If a particular 2017 penny becomes famous due to its unique error or its discovery story, it can attract attention from collectors around the world, creating intense competition and driving the price higher and higher. And when wealthy collectors or investors become involved, the sky is truly the limit, because they are often willing to pay whatever it takes to own a one-of-a-kind piece. Another factor that adds to the intrigue of the 2017 penny is the possibility that undiscovered errors may still exist. Even though millions of these coins were minted, not all of them have been carefully examined, and it is entirely possible that rare variations are still hidden in circulation waiting to be found. This keeps the excitement alive and encourages collectors to keep searching through their change, coin rolls, and bank boxes in hopes of finding that one extraordinary coin. And this is what makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby, because it combines history, art, and the thrill of discovery into one experience. You never know when you might stumble upon something truly valuable, and even if you do not find $1 million coin, the journey itself is filled with learning and excitement. So as you go about your day and handle everyday coins, take a moment to look closely at them, pay attention to the details, the mint marks, the alignment, the weight, and the texture, because sometimes the smallest differences can make the biggest impact. And who knows, that 2017 penny sitting unnoticed in your pocket or coin jar could be hiding a rare error that turns it into a life-changing treasure. And that is why stories like this continue to inspire collectors around the world, reminding us that even in the most ordinary objects there can be extraordinary value waiting to be discovered. So keep your eyes open, keep learning, and keep searching, because the next big discovery could be just one coin away. And right here on the Coin Empire, we will continue to bring you the most fascinating stories, rare coins, and valuable insights to help you on your journey into the incredible world of numismatics, where every coin has a story and every detail matters, and where even a simple penny can become a legend worth millions. Next, 2012 1-cent coin. Today we are about to explore one of the most mind-blowing and exciting stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that proves even the smallest and most ordinary-looking coin can hold a secret worth a fortune. And today's spotlight is on the 2012 1-cent USA coin that has been rumored and discussed among collectors as potentially being worth an astonishing $70 million. And if that number sounds unbelievable, just wait until you discover the rare errors, hidden mistakes, and extraordinary possibilities that could transform this everyday penny into a legendary treasure. Because in the world of numismatics, value is not just about age or metal content, but about rarity, uniqueness, condition, and the fascinating imperfections that make one coin stand out from millions of others. Now let's begin by understanding the basics of the 2012 1-cent coin. This coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has been used for decades and is instantly recognizable, while the reverse showcases the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010 to represent Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single nation, and while millions upon millions of these coins were minted in 2012, making them extremely common in everyday circulation, it is the rare and unusual variations that collectors are constantly searching for. Because those variations are what can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. One of the first and most important types of errors that can dramatically increase the value of a 2012 penny is the double die error. This occurs during the die creation process when the design is impressed more than once at slightly different angles, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on the coin. And this doubling can appear in the lettering such as Liberty, or I in God We Trust, or even in the fine details of Lincoln's portrait. And when the doubling is strong, crisp, and clearly visible without magnification, it becomes highly desirable among collectors, especially if it is authenticated by professional grading services. Another type of error that can make a 2012 penny incredibly valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not properly aligned when it is struck by the dies, causing the design to be shifted and leaving a blank area on part of the coin. And coins that are significantly off-center while still showing the full date and mint mark are considered especially valuable because they clearly display the error while still being identifiable, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Now let's talk about broad strike errors, which occur when the coin is struck without the collar that normally holds it in place, resulting in a coin that is slightly larger in diameter and lacks the defined edge. This type of error gives the coin a unique appearance that immediately sets it apart from normal coins. And depending on the severity and clarity of the error, it can significantly increase the coin's value. Then there is the fascinating possibility of a wrong planchet error, which is one of the most exciting and valuable types of errors in coin collecting. This occurs when a coin is struck on a blank that was intended for a different denomination or even a different country. Imagine a 2012 penny struck on a nickel planchet or a dime planchet, resulting in a coin that has the wrong size, weight, and metal composition. Such an error would be extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors, and if a unique example were discovered, it could easily command a price in the millions. Another important factor to consider is die cracks and cuds. These occur when the die used to strike the coin begins to wear out or break, creating raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. While minor die cracks are relatively common and at only a small premium, large and unusual cuds that create dramatic visual effects can make a coin highly collectible and significantly more valuable, especially if they are located in prominent areas of the design. Another intriguing type of error is the die clash, which happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions of each other's design. And when a coin is later struck using these damaged dies, it can carry these ghostly images which add a unique and mysterious quality to the coin. Collectors often find die clash errors fascinating because they reveal a hidden aspect of the minting process that is not normally visible. Now, beyond these common error types, there are even more extreme and rare possibilities that could elevate a 2012 penny to legendary status. One such possibility is a double denomination error, where a coin is struck over another coin of a different denomination. For example, a 2012 penny struck over a previously minted dime or nickel, creating a hybrid coin that displays features of both denominations. Such errors are incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors, and if such a coin were discovered, it could easily become one of the most valuable coins in the world. Another extraordinary possibility is a mule error, where the obverse and reverse designs do not match as they should. For instance, a penny with the obverse of a Lincoln cent but the reverse of a completely different coin. This type of error requires a significant mix-up during the minting process and is extremely rare, making any confirmed mule coin a major sensation in the numismatic community. Now let's consider the role of condition in determining the value of a coin. Even the rarest error will not reach its full potential if the coin is heavily worn or damaged. Collectors place a huge emphasis on coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they have no signs of wear and retain their original luster. Coins are graded on a scale from MS60 to MS70 with MS-70 representing a perfect coin with no visible flaws even under magnification. A 2012 penny with a rare error and a near-perfect grade would be considered an extraordinary find and could command an incredibly high price at auction. Another factor that contributes to the value of a coin is its provenance or history. If a coin has a well-documented history or was part of a famous collection, it can attract additional interest and drive up its value. And sometimes the story behind a coin can be just as important as the coin itself. Now let's talk about the role of demand and market psychology. In the world of high-end coin collecting, prices are often driven by competition among wealthy collectors and investors who are willing to pay huge sums of money to own a unique piece. And when a coin is believed to be one of a kind or extremely rare, it can create a bidding war that pushes the price to extraordinary levels. And this is how some coins have reached values in the tens of millions of dollars. The idea that a 2012 penny could be worth $70 million may sound unbelievable, but it is based on the possibility of an extremely rare combination of errors, uniqueness, and condition that makes it stand out as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And even if not every 2012 penny is worth such a fortune, the possibility that one could exist is enough to keep collectors searching, examining every coin they come across in hopes of finding that hidden treasure. And this is what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby, because it combines history, art, and the thrill of discovery. You never know when you might come across something truly valuable, so the next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look at each coin, examine the details, check the alignment, look for doubling or unusual features, because that ordinary-looking penny could be hiding something extraordinary. And that is the magic of coin collecting, where even the smallest coin can hold a story worth millions. And here on the Coin Empire, we are dedicated to bringing you these incredible stories and insights to inspire and guide you on your journey. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because the next great discovery could be just one coin away, waiting to change your life forever. Next, 1973 1-cent coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and mysterious stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that sounds almost unbelievable yet continues to capture the imagination of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world, and that is the legend of the 1973 1-cent USA coin that is rumored to be worth an astonishing $64 million. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny, something that most people ignore or toss aside, could potentially hold life-changing value. And in this video we are going to explore every possible reason why such a coin could reach such an extraordinary price, including the rare errors, the minting mistakes, the historical factors, and the hidden possibilities that could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary fortune. So sit back and imagine for a moment that the loose change in your pocket might actually contain a hidden treasure, because when it comes to rare coins, especially those from the 1970s, the line between ordinary and priceless can sometimes be thinner than you think. Now let's begin by understanding the basic identity of the 1973 1-cent coin. This coin was part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in circulation since 1959. By 1973, these coins were primarily made of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making them heavier and more durable than the zinc-based pennies introduced later in 1982. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced at different mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, which means that in general a 1973 penny is extremely common and worth only face value in circulated condition. However, what transforms an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity is not its age alone, but the presence of unique minting errors, rare variations, and extraordinary circumstances that set it apart from the rest. And that is exactly where the mystery begins, because within those millions of coins there could exist one or a few that possess anomalies so rare and so significant that collectors would be willing to pay unimaginable amounts to own them. One of the most important factors that can elevate the value of a coin is the presence of a double die error. This occurs during the minting process, when the coin die receives a misaligned impression, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the design elements, such as the date, the lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. If a 1973 penny were discovered with an extreme and clearly visible double die effect, especially on the date, or the words Liberty, or In God We Trust, it could instantly become one of the most sought-after coins in the world because collectors prize these errors for their uniqueness and visual appeal, and when such an error is combined with a pristine, uncirculated condition, the value can skyrocket into the millions. Another possibility that could explain the enormous value of a 1973 penny is the presence of an off-metal strike. This is an error where the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a different metal composition. Imagine a 1973 penny struck on a silver dime planchet, or even on a foreign coin blank. Such a mistake would be incredibly rare because it would require a breakdown in the minting process, allowing the wrong type of metal to be fed into the coin press. These types of errors are considered some of the most dramatic and valuable in numismatics, and if a unique example were discovered, it could easily command a price in the tens of millions, especially if it were the only known specimen in existence. Then there is the possibility of a wrong planchet error involving experimental metals. During the early 1970s, there was ongoing research into alternative coin compositions due to rising copper prices. Although the major transition did not occur until 1982, it is possible that experimental blanks or test planchets were accidentally used in regular coin production. If a 1973 penny were struck on an experimental alloy never intended for circulation, it would not only be a mint error but also a piece of historical significance representing a transitional phase in U.S. coinage history. Such a coin would be considered priceless by serious collectors and museums, adding to the possibility of a multimillion-dollar valuation. Another intriguing error that could contribute to the immense value of a 1973 penny is a brockage error. This occurs when a previously struck coin sticks to the die and leaves a mirrored impression on the next coin, resulting in a distorted and highly unusual appearance. Brockage errors are rare and visually striking, and when they occur in combination with other errors such as off-center strikes or double dies, they become even more valuable. Imagine a 1973 penny with a full brockage on one side and a double die on the other. Such a coin would be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting error, and could easily attract bids from elite collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums to add it to their collections. Speaking of off-center strikes, this is another type of error that can significantly increase a coin's value. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the die, resulting in a design that is partially missing or shifted to one side. While minor off-center errors are relatively common, dramatic examples where a large portion of the design is missing yet the date remains visible are highly prized. If a 1973 penny were struck significantly off-center while still clearly showing the date, it could become a highly desirable collectible, especially if the error is extreme and the coin is in excellent condition. Condition itself is another crucial factor in determining the value of any coin. A coin graded as mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster, can be worth exponentially more than the same coin in circulated condition. If a rare error coin from 1973 were discovered in near perfect condition, it would not only be rare but also exceptionally well preserved, making it even more valuable in the eyes of collectors. Grading services play a key role in this process by evaluating the coin's condition and assigning it a grade that helps establish its market value. A coin graded MS68 or higher is considered extremely rare and valuable, and when combined with a unique error, it could reach astronomical prices. The concept of rarity is perhaps the most important factor in understanding how a coin could be worth $64 million in the world of coin collecting. Rarity is everything. A coin that exists in only one or two known examples is considered far more valuable than one that has dozens or hundreds of surviving specimens. If a 1973 penny with a unique and dramatic error were discovered and confirmed to be the only one of its kind, it would instantly become a legendary piece in the numismatic community. Collectors are often willing to pay enormous sums to own such rarities, not only for their intrinsic value but also for the prestige and recognition that comes with owning a one-of-a-kind coin. Historical context can also play a role in elevating a coin's value. The early 1970s were a time of economic change and uncertainty in the United States, with rising inflation and shifts in metal prices influencing coin production. If a 1973 penny were linked to a significant historical event or represented a transitional moment in coinage, it could gain additional value as a historical artifact. For example, if documentation were discovered showing that a particular coin was part of a limited experimental run or was accidentally released during a period of minting adjustments, it would add a layer of historical significance that collectors highly value. Another fascinating possibility is the existence of a proof coin mistakenly released into circulation. Proof coins are specially made for collectors using polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and sharp details. These coins are not intended for general circulation and are usually sold in sets. If a 1973 proof penny somehow entered circulation and remained undiscovered for decades, it would be an extraordinary find, especially if it were in pristine condition. The combination of proof quality and accidental release would make it a highly desirable and valuable coin, adding to the mystery and potential worth of such a piece. We should also consider the role of demand in determining a coin's value. Even the rarest coin in the world would not be worth millions if there were no collectors interested in buying it. Fortunately for the 1973 penny story, the Lincoln Cent series is one of the most widely collected coin series in the world, with millions of enthusiasts searching for rare varieties and errors. This widespread interest creates a strong market for unique and valuable coins, driving prices higher as collectors compete to acquire the rarest pieces. Auctions play a significant role in establishing record prices for coins. When a rare coin is offered at auction, it attracts attention from collectors, investors, and institutions around the world. Competitive bidding can drive the price far beyond initial estimates, especially if the coin is considered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If a unique 1973 penny with extraordinary errors were to appear at a major auction house, it could spark intense competition among wealthy collectors, resulting in a final sale price that reaches or even exceeds the rumored $64 million mark. Of course, it is important to approach such extraordinary claims with a degree of skepticism. While it is theoretically possible for a coin to reach such a high value, it would require a perfect combination of rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand. However, the world of numismatics is full of surprises and record-breaking sales that defy expectations. So while last 1984 1-cent coin, today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and almost unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that shows how an ordinary-looking coin from everyday life can turn into a treasure worth an unimaginable fortune. And today's spotlight is on the 1984 1-cent USA coin that has been rumored in collector circles to reach a staggering value of $68 million. And while that number might sound shocking at first, once you understand the rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique possibilities behind such a coin, you will begin to see how something so small can carry such massive value. Because in numismatics, it is not just about the coin itself, but about what makes it different from every other coin that was ever produced. And the 1984 penny is particularly interesting because it exists in huge numbers, meaning millions of people may have handled one without ever realizing its hidden potential. And that is exactly what makes this story so exciting, the idea that a life-changing treasure could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a careful eye and a bit of knowledge. Now, to understand how a 1984 penny could ever be worth such an enormous amount, we need to explore the different types of errors and rare characteristics that can elevate its value beyond imagination. Starting with one of the most well-known and sought-after errors in the 1984 penny series, which is the doubled ear variety. This error occurs when the design of Abraham Lincoln's ear appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, and this specific error is already recognized among collectors as valuable. But imagine a version of this doubled ear error that is even more dramatic, more clearly defined, and preserved in near-perfect condition. Such a coin could stand out as one of the finest known examples and attract intense attention from collectors and investors around the world, pushing its value to extraordinary levels. Now, beyond the doubled ear, there is also the possibility of double die errors affecting other parts of the coin, such as the lettering in Liberty, or I in God We Trust, where the letters may appear slightly duplicated or shadowed. And while minor doubling is relatively common, strong and obvious doubling is rare and highly desirable, especially when combined with other unusual features. Another major factor that could contribute to the immense value of a 1984 penny is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that is shifted and partially missing. And coins with dramatic off-center strikes that still display the full date are particularly valuable because they clearly show the error while remaining identifiable. The more extreme the misalignment, the rarer the coin becomes. And if such an error were found on a 1984 penny in pristine condition, it could significantly increase its value. Then there are Broad strike errors, which happen when the coin is struck without the collar that normally keeps it in shape, causing it to expand beyond its normal size and lose its defined edge. These coins often look slightly larger and flatter than normal pennies and are instantly recognizable to experienced collectors, and depending on how dramatic the broad strike is, it can add a substantial premium to the coin's value. Now let's talk about one of the most exciting possibilities in coin collecting, which is the wrong planchet error. This is where a coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a different country, and this is where things can get truly extraordinary. Imagine a 1984 penny struck on a nickel planchet which is thicker and made of a different metal, or even more incredibly on a dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. Such an error would be incredibly rare and could instantly become one of the most valuable coins known, especially if it is the only one of its kind. Collectors place immense value on uniqueness and rarity, and a wrong planchet error represents both in the most dramatic way possible. Another category of errors that can make a 1984 penny stand out is die cracks and cuds. These occur when the die used to strike the coin begins to break or wear down, creating raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. While small die cracks are fairly common and only add minor value, large and unusual cuds that significantly alter the appearance of the coin can make it highly collectible, especially if they occur in prominent areas of the design. Then there is the fascinating phenomenon of die clash errors, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a coin between them, leaving faint impressions of each other's design. And when a coin is later struck using these damaged dies, it can carry these ghost-like images which add an extra layer of intrigue and uniqueness. Collectors often find these errors particularly interesting because they reveal a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the minting process. Now, beyond these more common error types, there are even more extreme possibilities that could elevate a 1984 penny to legendary status. One such possibility is a double denomination error, where a penny is struck over another coin such as a dime or a nickel, creating a hybrid coin that displays elements of both denominations. This type of error is extremely rare and highly prized by collectors, and if such a coin were discovered, it could easily become a multi-million-dollar piece. Another extraordinary possibility is a mule error, where the obverse and reverse designs do not belong together. For example, a penny with the Lincoln obverse paired with the reverse of a completely different coin. This type of error requires a significant mix-up during the minting process and is incredibly rare, making any confirmed mule coin a major sensation in the numismatic world. Now let's consider the role of condition, which is one of the most important factors in determining a coin's value. Even the rarest error will not reach its full potential if the coin is worn or damaged. Collectors seek coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of wear and retain their original luster. Coins are graded on a scale from MS60 to MS70, with MS70 representing a perfect coin with no visible flaws even under magnification, a 1984 penny with a rare error and a great close to perfection would be considered a true masterpiece and could command extraordinary prices at auction. Another factor that can influence a coin's value is its history or provenance. If a coin has a well-documented history or was part of a famous collection, it can attract additional attention and drive up its price. And sometimes the story behind a coin can be just as important as the coin itself. Now let's talk about the role of demand and market psychology. In the world of high-end coin collecting, prices are often driven by competition among wealthy collectors who are willing to pay huge sums to own a unique piece. And when a coin is believed to be one of a kind or extremely rare, it can create a bidding war that pushes the price to extraordinary levels. And this is how some coins have reached values in the tens of millions of dollars. The idea that a 1984 penny could be worth $68 million may sound unbelievable, but it is based on the possibility of an extremely rare combination of errors, uniqueness, and condition that makes it stand out as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And even if not every 1984 penny is worth such a fortune, the possibility that one could exist is enough to keep collectors searching, examining every coin they come across in hopes of finding that hidden treasure. And this is what makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby, because it combines history, art, and the excitement of discovery. You never know when you might come across something truly valuable, so the next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look at each coin, examine the details carefully, check for doubling, misalignment, unusual shapes, or anything that seems out of the ordinary, because that simple penny could be hiding a secret worth millions, and that is the magic of coin collecting, where even the smallest coin can hold a story of immense value. And here on the Coin Empire, we are dedicated to bringing you the most exciting stories, rare discoveries, and valuable insights from the world of coins. So stay curious, keep searching, and remember that the next great treasure might already be in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered.